So I wanted to put you in a hypothetical situation because I want to discuss today how extremism works and how it grows. Because I think this is a conversation that not many people actually have. I think when the subject comes up of Islamic terrorism, extremism, a lot of people's responses are purely emotive and emotional, which is completely understandable. But we need to look past our immediate emotional reactions to this sort of subject and actually discuss it rationally and logically. So I want you to imagine you're a 15, 16, 17-year-old man or woman, whether you choose, boy or girl, and you've lived in the UK your entire life. You're a Muslim. You were born in the UK. Say maybe your parents or your grandparents were immigrants, but you yourself are first or second generation British. And you've lived here, you love Britain. You support a football team in Britain. You have been to school all your life in Britain. You love it. It's your country. You're proud of it. All you want to do is follow your faith or go to school or go to college or go to maybe a part-time job and be left alone and mind your own business and just live a happy life. That's all you want. You don't want nothing else, much else. And all of a sudden you're walking through maybe central London one day, or you're walking through a street, or even if you're just online looking at videos and you see a man on a stage, and this is completely true, what I'm about to tell you actually happened, and he's on a stage and this man goes by the name of Tommy Robinson, and he's on there with a microphone and flags all around him and all this kind of stuff, and you think, what's going on here? So you stand and you watch, and then this man says, every single Muslim watching this, you got away with it on 9/11 and 7/7. You got away with it. And of course this angers you because this man is taking your religion and he's smearing you and all your family who are Muslims, most of your friends who are probably Muslims, and everybody you know who happens to be Muslim. He is claiming that they were somehow responsible for the terrorist attacks of 9/11 and 7/7, which you consider to be horrendous. You consider to be acts that were carried out by people who twisted your faith and took your religion and made it a weapon and made it an excuse for violence. You hate these people as much as he does, but he is still blaming you somehow, as if you're somehow implicit in the actions of extremists. So you start to research a little bit more about this man, and you find out that he said he wants a temporary Muslim ban, a temporary ban on all Muslims coming into this country. You find out that people like him, Katie Hopkins, Paul Golding, feel the same way. There are groups in the UK that operate who feel exactly the same way. The President of the United States feels exactly the same way. In fact, he wants to put all Muslims on a register. He wants to build a wall to keep Muslims out of his country. And you're getting more and more pissed off with this. Of course you would. All of a sudden, you're online, maybe you're on Facebook, maybe you're on WhatsApp, maybe you're on wherever you're on. And you see a profile with a man who's got a balaclava over his face. He's got a black flag in the background with some Arabic writing on it. He's holding a gun. And he's got videos all over his profile, ranting and raving about what's going on in Britain, how the British and the West hate Muslims, how they demonise Muslims, how they persecute Muslims. Now, before you'd seen the videos and the footage and the interviews of these people, Tommy Robinson, Paul Golding, Jada France and Katie Hopkins, you would have thought this man was a complete prick, right? You would have hated him. This is the type of man who carried out 9/11, carried out 7/7. He's a complete waste of space. He's a complete wanker. But ever since you've been exposed to the far-right extremism, all of a sudden, this man in the balaclava with the ISIS flag behind him is talking a lot of sense. That's how radicalisation happens. That is how easily a jihadist can just manipulate someone, just like that, to join their cause. Obviously, they don't tell you all the nasty sides of it, the cut-off heads and the rapes and the, all that kind of stuff that they actually do. They just tell you they're fighting a noble cause. They're taking the fight back to the Westerners who hate Muslims, who persecute Muslims. That's all they have to say. And you will get scores of young kids lining up to go and join these people. This is very important because this is how radicalisation happens. If you listen to any former jihadist, any former Islamist, Ed Hussein, Majid Nawaz, as much as I dislike a lot of what he says, they all tell you the same thing. They felt persecuted in their own country. They felt demonised. They felt alienated. They felt like they weren't welcome anymore. And this is exactly the type of thing that Tommy Robinson, Paul Golding, Katie Hopkins, etc. are spreading. They are doing exactly what the Islamists want them to do, because they are demonising people who have done nothing. Mr. Khan down the road didn't bomb anyone, but all of a sudden some bloke is saying he's somehow responsible for someone who did, just because they share the same religion. It's ridiculous. So we need to actually have rational discussions about Islamism, extremism, and how we can stop it, how we can stem it, because we're just going to get loads more of these cases of people wanting to come back but not renouncing the extremism, and we're going to end up in a whole lot more. It's very easy to just say emotive responses and just say shoot them, just kill them, or just deport them, or just kick them out. Very, very easy and completely understandable. I completely understand why people come out with these emotive responses. These people are terrorists, they are extremists, they do kill, and it's completely understandable. But we have to figure out how we can stop people getting to that point in the first place. Of course, we're not going to stop everybody getting to that point. That's ridiculous to even suggest that we could do that. But we need to stem as severely as possible the amount of people who end up becoming jihadists. How do we do that? With dialogue. We need to talk to Muslims, to imams, to the Muslim community. We are never, ever, 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 ever going to stop Islamic extremism so long as we keep alienating, demonising, and pushing aside the Muslim community. We need to listen to them. We need to listen to former jihadists. We need to listen to the Muslim community. We need to actually come together. The one thing that hateful people who want to demonise and segregate society, the one thing that they cannot fight against is when people come together. So we need to stop being suspicious of your Muslim neighbour down the road just because he's a Muslim and he's got a beard. Stop that. Stop assuming he's a terrorist. Stop assuming women in burqas have something to hide. Stop it. Because you are giving in to exactly the same thing that the Islamists want you to give in to. They want you to hate Muslims. They want you to be fearful of them. Of course they do, because then they get more recruits. Second thing we need to do to stop Islamic extremism spreading is stop fucking bombing these countries. You don't know where your bomb is going to fall. You don't know who it's going to kill. And that's fact. So your bomb lands on someone, lands on someone's house, kills his family. There's one man left, or even one woman left, one child left in the building alive. In comes ISIS in the region, marching through, waving their flags, and they say, look what Britain, look what America has done to your home. They've killed your family. Come with us, we're fighting back. They're going to go along. Of course they are. So we need to stop with the getting involved in Middle Eastern affairs and poking our oar in, etc., etc., bombing. Stop all that. If we want to solve the Middle Eastern crisis, it has to be done with diplomacy. And if we want to solve the crisis at home, it has to be done with diplomacy. Talk. Stop spewing hate, stop spewing bile and evil and ignorance. Talk. That's it. I'll see you next time.